Chapter 1 Ancient Bloodlines. Disclaimer. This is the only time I will be doing this throughout the entire story, so read it. I do not own either Naruto or Mortal Kombat. Naruto ran to the hospital and found Kakashi waiting in one of the hallways of the hospital. "Hey, Kakashi-sensei, I was wondering if you could help me train for the exams," said Naruto hopefully at his Jounin-sensei. "I'm sorry, Naruto, but I am training Sasuke. He needs more help than you do since he's going against Gaara," Kakashi replied, not even looking up from his icha. "But you saw what Neji did to Hinata. How am I supposed to defeat him?" said Naruto, not liking how his sensei was blowing him off. "And you saw what Gaara did to Lee. Sasuke might get killed." Kakashi fired back with some sternness in his voice. "And so will I if I don't get stronger. Can't you just give me a scroll to help me out or something?" Naruto pleaded, since anything at this point would do. "Look, Naruto, I can't train you because I don't have any time to do so. Sasuke has a better chance of winning against Gaara than you do against Neji. You can't control your chakra, your jutsu selection is limited to the academy jutsu and a B-rank genjutsu, your taijutsu sucks, and your genjutsu is non-existent. Sasuke has a variety of kaiten ninjutsu, the Sharingan, his clan taijutsu, and a few genjutsu. All of which I can help him with," said Kakashi, while Naruto shook in anger. "So that is it, huh?" Naruto whispered to his Jounin. "You have no talent whatsoever and I can't have my reputation being sullied by you if you lose against Neji," Kakashi continued, still not even looking at Naruto. Had he looked up, he would have seen the pure rage within Naruto's eyes. That was when Naruto finally snapped and his killing intent soared through the roof, making Kakashi look at Naruto. Needless to say, Naruto was mad. No, he was downright embarrassed. "So that is how you feel, huh, Haddock?" Kakashi flinched at the way Naruto spat out his surname. "Naruto," calm said Kakashi, but was met with surprising killer intent and thought he saw a flash of crimson-slit eyes instead of Naruto's blue ones. "Calm down? Calm down. Don't you dare tell me to calm fucking down, Haddock. After all I have done for this team, you would cast me aside. Who was the one who saved your ass when you got captured by Zabuza? Not Sasuke, me. Who was the one who defeated Haku-san? Not Sasuke, me. Who was the one that stood against Orochimaru instead of cowering like a little bitch for an Uchiha? Not Sasuke, me. You can't even stick to the goddamn motto you told us when we graduated from your test. Hell, Sakura should have been tied to that training post, and you know it. Those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash. You are worse than trash, you hypocritical piece of shit," said Naruto with Kakashi looking at him in surprise. "Naruto, Kakashi tried to explain, but Naruto wouldn't hear of it, and again the eyes of the blonde flashed red. "Don't address me as if you know me, Haddock. From now on, you will only address me as Uzumaki and nothing else in my presence," said Naruto while Kakashi didn't like that one bit. "I am your sensei, Naruto. I will address you how I see fit," said Kakashi, but Naruto wasn't done and continued his speech. "And another thing, you are not a teacher. Hell, I bet the closet pervert, Ibisu, can teach better than you, and he's one of the weakest shinobi I've ever seen with his rank. What kind of sensei gives personal training to one of his students and leaves the rest to fend for themselves? We could have died in the exam against Orochimaru because of your blatant ass-kissing of the Uchiha, you son of a bitch," said Naruto angrily. "Naruto, that is no way to talk to your son," Kakashi started as he tried to reprimand his volatile student. "Sensei? You have no right to have that title. All I see is a Uchiha cocksucker. You know what? I am done with this. I am done with this team, you, Waruno, and the bitch-ass Uchiha." "Nah," said Kakashi again, but the killer intent the boy was generating spiked, and it would be quite impressive if things were different. "Fuck you, Haddock. I will never talk to you again. I respected you once, but now I see what I mean to you, and it's the same belief as the others. You fucking hypocrite of an asshole. Go ahead and go train your Uchiha fuck buddy. Know that when I do beat Neji, your precious Sasuke is next, and I'm going to beat him within an inch of his life," said Naruto before stalking off from the hospital while nurses and doctors parted the way in case he would try to lash out. "Stop, Naruto. I command it," said Kakashi, being the dumb fuck, trying to stop Naruto, who grabbed his wrist and spun on his heel with a kunai in hand and sliced his Icha paradise in half. "Never. Ever. Put your damn hands on me again, Haddock, or I will kill you even if you were my father's student," said Naruto, snarling out his threat. "He knows? How?" The Sandaime swore to never tell him anything. thought Haddock, as he was too stunned to even try and stop Naruto while watching the boy storm out of the hospital and onto the streets of Konoha. Konoha streets. I can't believe that hypocritical bastard. Naruto thought as he walked down the street. When the villagers saw him, they immediately started glaring at him. However, they were surprised when he glared right back at him with some added killer intent. He even backhanded a grown man who thought it would be very funny to trip the demon brat and watch him fall. As soon as he did that, the crowds parted for him to go through, not willing to agitate the demon brat even more than he already was. His own heightened hearing picked up their frantic whispering. "Did you see that? I told you he was a demon. Only a monster would attack a poor, defenseless man. We should have killed him when he was a baby. Monster? Demon? Freak?" Naruto was barely able to restrain himself from lashing out at the idiots he swore to protect. "Hold it, Naruto. They're just itching for an excuse to bitch to the councils to have the old man punish you," thought Naruto, since it had happened in the past. So with considerable effort, Naruto calmed down slightly and merely glared back so they knew if they did anything first, he'd see they lost a few limbs. He was frightened of the people at first, after the first attack on his life at the age of 4, but after the entire situation was explained to him during the incident with Mizuki, well, let's face it, people, he was mad. I mean, who wouldn't be after finding out that the reason the entire civilian population and most shinobi hated you was because of something outside of your power? He got even madder when he found out that the one who did this to him, the Yondaime Hokage, was also his father, which was kept from him, and he had learned from the forbidden scroll of sealing. What parent does this type of shit to their children? The Yondaime was an idiot for putting so much faith in so many idiots. Naruto was also mad at the Sandaime Hokage for keeping this news from him, although nowhere near as mad at his father, and kept this information from him for so long. The only real reason he wasn't madder at the old man was because he executed all of the people who ever physically harmed him. However, he couldn't do anything about the people who abused him psychologically. The old man also didn't know that most of the teachers at the academy were messing with his grades 24/7. Or if he did, was doing nothing about it out of fear of losing favor with the village and being their Hokage. Naruto himself had checked, and if they hadn't messed with his grades, he would have finished in 3rd place in the class, with the Uchiha still in 1st place. The teachers probably raised all of his grades, the bastards, and Shinoburam at 2nd place. "I can't stand this place anymore, I want to leave and never look back," thought Naruto as he felt his rage building inside his head. Unfortunately, Naruto was so angry that he failed to notice a group of jounin talking to each other and how the blonde was one of the contestants in the Chunin exam finals. They felt the boy should be injured beyond repair, unable to not only make it to the exam finals but being a Konoha shinobi altogether, and decided to do the Hyuga clan a nice service in helping them out by removing the so-called opposition from play. The group waited until Naruto headed for a more secluded location before striking the blonde and beating him within an inch of his life like so many had done before. Not knowing a reptilian figure was watching the events before him unfold with hunger in his eyes, and he was not Orochimaru. Filthy humans. To think the Raiden the Elder God favors you. Why he does I will never understand, said the figure, making the shinobi around the bleeding Uzumaki look around them to see no one was there. Who's there? Show yourself, said the leader of the group before he cried out in pain when an invisible clawed hand went through his torso. Why do that, human? When this is so much easier, said the reptilian voice before the invisible creature bit into the shinobi's neck and quickly slaughtered the other shinobi before they could attack. Monster, said one shinobi, seeing the creature become visible but wished he had not, as the creature dripped acid from his mouth and shot it at the dying man. Fool. Now what to do with you? Your scent seems familiar. Tainted in a sense. No. Not tainted. Locked away. Yes. That's what I smell. But why is it familiar? Wait. Could it be he's? But I thought the child died shortly after birth. And that was ages ago, before the 10th Mortal Kombat tournament that vile sorcerer failed to secure Earthrealm in the name of Outworld. Could this weak child be his progeny's long line of progeny? I must take him before the Emperor and quickly, given the nature of his wounds, said the lizard-like creature, picking up the unconscious bleeding boy before using the amulet given to him to traverse the realms. With the Elder Gods. Elder Gods, I ask of you for permission to stop Reptile from taking the boy to the Shao Khan, said Raiden while he stood before his fellow Elder Gods and saw each of them looking back at him. No, Raiden. You will not stop this. We forbid it, said one Elder God to Raiden's right. The boy is a threat to Earthrealm if he falls into the hands of Shao Khan. Surely you see that, said Raiden while the elder gods frowned at him. You set things in motion when you took the offspring of Shao Khan and Sindel away from them all those years ago. You brought his progeny to Earthrealm to be the final deterrent against the Emperor in a last resort, should the conquest of Earthrealm be assured, and instead that boy grew to become what the people now call in this time the Sage of Six Paths, said another elder god behind Raiden. It was necessary. I couldn't risk Shao Kahn's offspring growing up to be stronger than his sire and lead a campaign against Earthrealm. We would have never survived had the child been raised by his father. The same will happen with this boy holding the strongest of the Biju in him, said Raiden with the eyes of the elder gods glowing around him. We know about the boy's burden, Raiden. Uzumaki Naruto is his descendant, born in Earthrealm with the blood of the Emperor Shao Khan of Outworld running in his very veins, and therefore can traverse between the two realms without reprimand from any of us. However, Shao Khan is still forbidden from invading Earthrealm, and we have long since ended the Mortal Kombat tournaments to ensure the safety of the realms long after his final attempt at invading it. If we allow you to go through with this, then all the restraints put in place to stop Shao Khan from invading Earthrealm will be cast down, and nothing will stop the Emperor from having his vengeance for what you did ages ago. That is our decision on this matter, Raiden. Cross us on this matter and you will be stripped of your status as an elder god before being cast down, said another elder god in front of the Raiden. Sighing in defeat, all Raiden could do was watch events play out and hope his actions many years ago didn't come back to haunt him. Outworld Emperor's Palace. Master Shao Khan, I bring something of importance before you and require your full attention on this matter, said Reptile as he kneeled before the Emperor of Outworld and holding the child out before the man. And this dying child? You bring this weak thing from Earthrealm before me? For what reason, Reptile? Said Shao Khan while seeing the blood from the boy staining his floor. He is no mere child, my Emperor. I have come across something of great importance in my travels into Earthrealm, said Reptile while the Emperor did not look impressed. Speak. Tell me what you've learned that it would include bringing this child to me, said Shao Khan with his guards looking ready to strike down the lizard warrior should their Emperor command it. This child he is of your bloodline, said Reptile with Shao Kahn's eyes widening and was instantly upon him with a fist to the reptilian man's neck. You lie. I have had only one child brought into the world and my son was proclaimed dead shortly after breathing his first breath as Prince of Outworld, said Shao Khan with the pain of losing his progeny still hurting him to this day. I do not understand it either, my Emperor, but I swear to you this boy has a sense similar to your own and it can only be possible if he were of your bloodline. He also has strange marking on him that could only be that of an elder god, though it reeks of death, said Reptile seeing Shao Khan look at the boy on the ground before nudging Naruto onto his back and ripping open the shirt to see the seal. Shao Khan knew the markings on the boy as they were the marking of an elder god who was connected to death, and there was only one elder god connected with that. Of course, the elder god had fallen far, losing his title and simply being a god of death like Raiden had once been the god of thunder. This was Shinnok's power on the boy's seal. Bring me my best healers now, said Shao Khan to a servant who bowed quickly and then rushed off to obey the command. I do not believe your son died shortly after his birth, my Emperor, said Reptile with the ruler of Outworld touched the boy gently, a sense of something long since dead rise, and grasped his heart in an iron grip. Then what happened to him? Why is my legacy so weak? Said Shao Khan as he used his power to gaze into the boy's mind and see his memories. Only to become enraged at what he was seeing. The beatings by mobs, the constant abuse suffered at the hands of those maggots, followed by the lack and sabotage of the boy's overall training. But what really made Shao Kahn's blood boil was this was leading back to a memory taking place mere days after the child's birth to reveal a secret kept from the Emperor of Outworld. Flashback days after Naruto's birth. You must ensure the boy doesn't reach his full potential, Sandaime Hokage. He has the blood of a powerful being running in his veins that could shatter the world you know, and with the Kyuubi sealed inside of him, now will make the risk all the greater, said Raiden in the Sandaime Hokage's office. Jiraiya came to me earlier about the child of prophecy the Toad Elders spoke of, and I fear given the boy's heritage combined with this new information Naruto's growth has to be crippled. I'll see to it. The news of him being the Jinchuriki of Kyuubi will see to that when I make it public, said the Sandaime, while Raiden nodded and looked at the boy. Make sure the boy is strong enough to defend your village, but nothing more than what is being asked of you, and make sure agents are in place to kill him should any of that kind of power manifest itself. The bloodline of the emperor must not reach its apex in this realm, and given what he now holds, I am tempted to strike the child down now if not for the elder gods forbidding it, said Raiden with his hand covered in lightning. End flashback. Raiden. He took my son from me. Curse you, thunder god. Yelled Shao Khan before he punched a nearby pillar and turned it into rubble. This boy is your legacy, said Reptile in shock, while many of the emperor's generals and servants looked on with horror at what befell their leader. This complex seal is empowered by none other than Shinnok himself. Prepare a room for the child and tend to his injuries immediately. Know that if he dies, you will beg for the elder gods to save you, and the demons of the NarutoxHarem to torture you for eternity in their domain, said Shao Khan, with the healers arriving and armed guards assisting in taking the boy to an assigned room to help Naruto recover. I saved the boy from being beaten by the people in his village, my emperor. They were speaking of him partaking in some kind of tournament called the Chunin exams and how they were going to make sure he didn't compete, said Reptile, with Shao Kahn's eyes narrowing and the fire from them creating smoke from the intensity. You have done me a great service, Reptile. Name your reward and I will grant it if such a wish is within my power to grant, said Shao Khan, seeing the reptile bow before him. I can ask for nothing from you, my emperor, but if it were possible I would like to help train the boy and see his development grow, said Reptile with Shao Khan nodding in agreement. Done. Now leave my sight. I must think about what to do regarding my legacy, said Shao Khan, seeing Reptile bow and leave the emperor's throne room while the man's mind was going through what he knew of the boy's memories and the creature he held. Sometime later, Naruto stirred awake as he felt consciousness reach him and saw he was in some strange place that was quite dreary in a horror movie kind of fashion. His vision was blurry at first, but Naruto could see and feel the dark energies of this place he was in. Surprisingly enough, the blonde didn't feel afraid of such things, but rather was comfortable in them like it was natural and wished to embrace more of what was making it happen. Wincing slightly, Naruto noticed his hand above the bedsheet was bandaged and frowned, since he had always healed fast. Ever since the forest of death and the fight with Orochimaru, his whole body felt out of sync. At least it did until now, and his body felt better. Far better actually. He hadn't felt like this since ever. Are you okay, young one? He heard a deep voice above him ask. Yeah, I think so, Mr. Holy shit, you're huge. Naruto exclaimed as he looked up to the person he had walked into. The guy stood at 7'3" and had rather broad shoulders. He had a helmet on his head that spoke of a warlord, the front of the mask was made of bone, his eyes were crimson red and had some wrinkles covering his face. He was wearing armor along his shoulders and his elbows that gleamed in the light of the room with dried blood. His torso had leather straps forming an X shape, while a dragon-like symbol was at the center of it. Obviously, said Shao Khan with a smirk, knowing his form was intimidating. I'm sorry if I stated the obvious, but I've never seen anyone like you before, or even this very place I'm in now, said Naruto, while getting up and looking up at the man now with a questioning look. One of my agents found you being attacked and brought you here to be healed, said the Emperor of Outworld, while a female servant wearing clothes that would have made a certain Toad Sannin get a nosebleed entered with clothing for Naruto to wear before she left the room. Oh. Thank you. Where am I exactly? Said Naruto while getting dressed behind a portable screen in black combat boots, black pants with a red sash, and a red armband with a symbol of a dragon in black outline on it. We are in the realm known as Outworld. Follow me, answered the man before leaving the room, never once stopping as he continued through the palace and Naruto right behind him. Say what now? Naruto frantically yelped as he couldn't believe what he was hearing and saw Shao Kahn turn to face him. You see, there are more dimensions out there. One is Earthrealm. Your world. Said the emperor while hating the fact the boy was born in Earthrealm. Earthrealm? Said Naruto, still not understanding. Yes. There is Earthrealm, Hell, the NarutoxHarem, Heaven, Limbo, Edenia, Outworld, and then there are the hundreds of different worlds that have been joined with Outworld, said Shao Kahn, before walking into the throne room, where soldiers and servants of all ranks bowed to the two of them. So you're telling me that there are like 1,000 different worlds out there, and right now I'm in one of those worlds? Naruto asked, his mind had just been completely blown, and rightfully so given this information. Yes. My agent Reptile, who saved you from the attack, told me you are competing in a tournament of sorts, and I wish to help you win. How about I train you for these Chunin exams Reptile told me about? Said Shao Khan, while Naruto was excited by the offer. And what could you teach me? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. Naruto was startled, however, as the man simply disappeared from right in front of him, like he was a ghost. The boy started to look around, trying to spot the man before he felt hands on his shoulders and was startled to see the giant of a man standing right behind him with a smirk on his aged face. For one, I can teach you how to do that, said Shao Khan, knowing the boy would need a visual aid-based teacher to learn. Teach me. Teach me. Teach me. Teach me. Naruto chanted as he looked at the man with stars in his eyes. Ha. 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 Very well then. Follow me. The emperor commanded while laughing as he turned around and walked towards the inner sanctum of his home, with Naruto soon rushing after him before a portal of sorts opened with the two walking through it. When Naruto surfaced on the other side of the portal, he immediately took in his new surroundings and was shocked at the sight of it. He was standing in an arena possibly twice if not 3 times the size of the one Konoha had. It was filled with violent-looking areas meant to cause intense physical pain and suffering to all who dared set foot in it. This place had large creatures chained down, watched over by their trainers, and other kinds of beings now entering the arena that didn't look fully human. He then saw the tall man motioning him over as he walked towards the massing army of what seemed like warriors from Naruto, guessing were under this guy's command, and wondered just what he had gotten himself into here. Where in the world are we? Naruto questioned. We are in my arena. Here is where only the best warriors of Outworld fight, die, and if they are strong enough live to fight again. We are going to be here for a while to get you into shape for your tournament, said the regal warlord with a smirk on his mask face. Really? Naruto asked with the emperor nodding. Given your current health, lack of proper training, and teacher to fix the damage done to you, this will take exactly 1 year, said the warlord in front of the boy. What? But the Chunin exam finals are in 1 month, not 1 year. Naruto now screamed towards the man, who just laughed and acted like it was nothing. Fret not, boy. That's the greatness of Outworld, as that 1 year here is equal to a month in Earthrealm, and you will return in that time to compete in your tournament, said Shao Khan, after laughing at Naruto's response. So basically, I can get a whole year's worth of training done in place of 1 month I would spend back home? Naruto asked with his mouth wide open in amazement. Yes, said Shao Khan, seeing the boy's eyes light up. Fucking awesome, he said with a small devilish smirk, while Shao Khan smirked and laughed at his response. Reminds me of myself when I was at that childish age, thought Shao Khan, seeing a lot of himself in the boy. Look out, Konoha, you wanted a demon, well you're going to get one, and he's not going to be the nice anymore. Thought Naruto, knowing his chance of winning against Neji just went up in his favor. Happy to see that you're in such a good mood, said the emperor with a small chuckle. Considering who I'm going to unleash my newfound power on when this is over? Hell yeah, I'm in a good mood, said Naruto with Shao Khan smirking. Good. That seal on you was having problems working earlier, as a fresh yet crude seal was placed over it and had to be removed. Whatever energy you had before that has been returned and can now fight with all the power you possess, said the emperor, with the boy looking shocked that he knew about the Biju and that another seal was on him. So that was what that gay snake did, thought Naruto, while putting a hand where the seal his father placed on him now revealed itself from his touch. Now, onto Busey, said Shao Khan, but was caught off by the boy. Wait, said Naruto quickly. What? Said Shao Khan with what little patience thinning. You never told me your name, sir, said Naruto curiously. An evil gleam appeared in the old man's eye as Naruto asked this question. He then started chuckling, but, before long, it turned into full-blown maniacal laughter. Managing to look scary as hell, as well as scaring the shit out of Naruto all at the same time. The old man finally calmed down before looking at Naruto with an evil grin plastered on his face. I didn't tell you, huh? Well, listen well, boy, because I will be only saying this once. The man remarked before clearing his throat. I am the defier of the elder gods. The slayer of the dragon King Anaga. The greatest ruler to have ever lived. I am the emperor of Outworld. I am Shao Kahn the Conqueror, and I am above all things your forefather, yelled Shao Kahn. Just what the hell have I gotten myself into? Thought Naruto nervously, and yet was excited all the same before the last part reached his mind. And abruptly fainted. It was going to be a long year. Konoha 1 month year later, Chunin exam stadium. It was a bright day in the Leaf Village. The sun's rays were falling upon the village, creating bright streams of light through the many trees that the village was named after. Children could be seen playing within the streets, and teenagers and adults of all ages and genders were shopping for goods, while birds could be heard singing from above them. The sounds of cheering people could be heard all over the Hidden Leaf village as shinobi, civilians, nobles, and commoners alike had all gathered to witness the Chunin exam finals. As he looked over the village from his seat in the cage booth, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but be pleased with the turnout. In one section of the stands sat the members of the newly dubbed Konoha 12, which consisted of the members of the newly famed Rookie 9, along with the members of Team Guy who hadn't made it to the finals. The name was given to them because of all of the genin of Konoha who had been placed in the Chunin exams, all 27 teams. It was the 4 rookie teams that passed the second stage and made it to the preliminary rounds. Sitting with them were the Jounin sensei of the teams, -1, each of them looking down at the students who had made it past the prelims in pride. On the arena floor, 7 figures could be seen standing in a line facing the cage booth. 6 of those figures were the genin who were about to compete in their matches: Aburam Shino, Hyuga Niji, Nara Shikamaru, Sabaku no Gara, Sabaku no Tamari, and Sabaku no Kankuro, with the last member being the Jounin proctoring this match. The proctor, Shiranui Genma, had dark brown hair reaching to his neck and brown eyes. He was wearing his forehead protector like a bandana and the standard Jounin outfit of dark blue pants and a long-sleeved blue shirt with his Jounin flak jacket over it. Sarutobi frowned as he saw that they were missing 3 ninjas, Kanuta Dosu, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uzumaki Naruto. He knew that Dosu was dead, his corpse having been found by his Anbu just last night, and Uchiha Sasuke was with Kakashi, so it was a given that he would either make it at the late minute or turn up late. However, that Naruto was not standing down there was worrying. He knew the blonde would never miss a chance like this. Sarutobi couldn't help but wonder if something had happened to him. "Sir, there is still no sign of Uchiha Sasuke, but we have a few squads searching for him," said a Jounin before he leaned over to whisper into his cage's ear. "I see," said the Sandaime simply. "Sir, do you think Orochimaru may have already gotten to the boy?" questioned the man. The Sandaime didn't let his subordinate know what he was thinking. With several decades of ninja experience, he had learned the art of keeping his face emotionless. However, the thought that Orochimaru may already have gotten his hands on Sasuke was worrying. The boy had been with Kakashi, and while Sarutobi planned on having words with how the man had taken up favoritism with his squad, the Sharingan-toting Jounin was still one of his best shinobi. Before he could reply to the Jounin's words, however, he caught sight of a pair of white and blue robes out of the corner of his eye. Upon seeing them, he turned to greet the arriving Kazukiage. "Kazukiage donor, you must be tired from the long journey," he greeted cordially. "Not at all," the man replied in his calm manner as he sat down. "Though it's a good thing the exams were held here this time. While you are still young, the trip may have been too much for you, Hokage-sama. Perhaps it's time you choose a 5th Hokage?" said the Kazukiage while Sarutobi gave a hearty laugh and waved the man's comments off. "Please don't treat me like an old man. The fire in me still burns as strongly as it did 20 years ago. I've still got a few more years left before needing to find a successor," said Sandaime before looking at the contestants below. "It seems we have 2 missing," said the Kazukiage upon taking his seat, eyes roving over to the field, and the Sandaime nodded gravely. Standing up, Sarutobi gave his announcement. "Thank you for coming. I would like to welcome you all to Konoha's Chunin exam finals. We will now begin the main tournament between the 10 participants who made it through the preliminaries." The crowd began to cheer as the Hokage finished his announcement. Sarutobi nodded towards Genma, who turned to look at the contestants. "I'm the proctor of the finals. My name is Shiranui Genma. So you all know who you are facing, correct?" Everyone nodded and took a look. "This is the lineup for the main matches," said Shiranui Genma, holding up a sheet of paper with the matches shown on it. "Great, a change up with me fighting a girl. Joy is me," thought Shikamaru sarcastically, since he didn't want to fight girls. "As you can see, there will be 5 matches in the first round. Now, while the arena is different, the same rules from the preliminaries apply. Any questions?" said Genma looking at the current contestants. Nobody spoke as Genma now began the exams. "Will Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Niji please step forward? All other contestants go to the fighters booth. Konoha Stadium stands. Sasuke-kun is not here. Neither is Naruto either," I said, as she sat by her best friend turned enemy. "Who cares? It's not like he's even going to be able to beat Niji. Now he is a genius, just like Sasuke-kun." Sakura sneered. "But Sakura, that's your teammate. At least have some kind of faith in him," said Ino, slightly put off by how casually Sakura just brushed off Naruto and hoped Neji would hurt the fellow blonde. "The day I have faith in that baka is the day hell freezes over," said Sakura simply. Konoha Stadium stands down inside. Yugao, Hayate, Kurenai, Anko, Hana, and Asuma sat in the crowd as they watched the proceedings. Kakashi was late with his student, though no one cared for either one after hearing how the Jounin blew Naruto off to train the Uchiha personally. "This fight is going to be fun," Anko said, speaking with glee. Kurenai looked at her best friend and smiled. "Yes, I agree." Hayate coughed and spoke, "So who do you think is going to win this fight?" This got everyone's attention. "More than likely it's going to be the Hyuga, I'm afraid. It's a shame because I know the Uzumaki Gaki is looking to avenge the Hyuga heiress after what happened in the prelims," Yugao replied. "Well, you never know. Uzumaki Naruto is known for surprises, he just might pull off an upset and throw everyone for a loop," Asuma spoke, since Naruto had a history of doing that. "Let's all see. Shall we?" Hana interjected, wanting to see the fight. Arena floor. HMPH looks like the loser decided not to show up after all. Not like it would have made a difference any, he was fated to lose today and the day after that. Sneered Neji while thinking his victory would only bring down Hinata further. He was silenced, however, as he heard a strange sound behind him and turned to see what it was with wide eyes along with everyone else. They saw a large circular orange portal open and the sound of heavy ground shaking footsteps coming from the portal entrance, with the shadow of the figure coming from it being revealed to the light. "So, you decided to show up after all, huh, lose," said Neji, stopped talking however as he took in the appearance of the person walking towards him in Genma. Is that Uzumaki Naruto?" thought the Jounin proctor while wondering if he needed to have his eyes checked or if he was in the Twilight Zone. Gone was the 4-3 orange-loving knucklehead of a ninja. What stood in his place was a whole new warrior altogether. This man stood at an impressive 5'7", his spiky blonde hair was now down to his shoulders and held in the back by a ponytail. He had gone from scrawny to ripped, he had muscles bulging damn near everywhere. It was really visible since he was shirtless with black X-shaped leather going across his torso with a dragon emblem holding it together in the middle. He was wearing black Anbu-style pants with a dark red belt, black combat boots, had on dark red shin and forearm guards with jagged edge greaves, black gauntlets stained in dried blood, and had his Konoha headband loosely hanging around his neck. Naruto even had what appeared to be a dragon emblem tattooed on his left pectoral. The dragon was a metallic gray surrounded by a black circle looking menacing in the sunlight. They only knew it was Naruto due to the whisker marks on his cheeks being thicker than usual, as the usual spiky blonde hair was covered by a metal helmet with a bone-like front that protected the upper part of the face, and his blue eyes were now crimson red with slit pupils. The crowd, and more specifically everyone from Konoha, was stunned silent at his new appearance. The only reason that they were able to identify this new person as Naruto Uzumaki was because of the blonde spiky hair and the 3 whisker marks he had on each cheek. The stadium was completely silent for one moment. Then it erupted into sound with a few simple words they spoke and thought next. "What the fuck?"